I have a prayer today. Heavenly Father, this nation has lost 2 Capitol Police officers this last week due to last Wednesday's tragic events in Washington, D.C. Capitol building. Also, prayers go out to the 4 other people who have passed away. First, Officer Howard Lidengood died Saturday, 51 years old. He died off duty. He joined the Capitol Police in 2005. Multiple outlet reports stated that he took his own life. The other Capitol Police officer, Brian Sicknick, died Thursday after the rioters hit him in the head with a fire extinguisher during the siege. He was a veteran who later lamented Americans' involvement in Iraq. He lived in suburban Virginia, but hailed in a small town in New Jersey. The youngest of 3 brothers, and he was serving in his dream job as a police officer when he met his death last week in the nation's capital. Brian was also 42 years old. He had served overseas in New Jersey Air National Guard in support of the war in Afghanistan, eventually attaining a lifelong goal of becoming a police officer. Praise for his service poured in from his family on Friday. His neighbors and co-workers called fond memories of his compassionate behavior, his kind face, and his love of fishing. Lord, please join our hearts and minds in honoring those whose lives were lost while defending the noble ideals of peace, security, and freedom. These were dedicated professionals who were willing to place themselves in the line of duty to ensure that every citizen of our country and all those within our borders are safe from harm. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Jim.
Okay, we'll start out. Topic number 1. The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes of the meeting December 15th.
So moved.
Second.
Tim, you were not here for the first 2. Commissioner
Okay.
Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeWar?
Yes. Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes for the meeting December 22nd.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeWar?
Yes. Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes of the meeting December 29th.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeWar?
Yes. Number 4, Jerry.
On January 11th, I approved an unpaid leave of absence for the Department of Aging for Maglia Rios, Recreation and Education Assistant, for up to 40 hours during the period of February 1st, 2021 through February 5th, 2021, and for maintenance, approved and executed service contract agreement with Advanced Mechanical Contractors, LLC, to provide inspections and maintenance on county and safety center backflows for a period of 5 years, February 8th, 2021 through February 7th, 2026, in an amount not to exceed $38,000, $25,000 for the county buildings, and $13,000 for the safety center.
Thank you, Jerry. Number 5, Adrian.
Okay, today's financials include supplementals from juvenile court in their care and custody fund to cover 2021 budget requests made by the court, but were too late to include in the permanent appropriations. Among the encumbrances are a travel request from the engineer's office to attend the 2021 CEAO Engineers Conference. And among the vouchers are $54,977.44 from ADP, to Business Smarts for 2 new and 1 replacement server to run external and internal web services and the phone system, $559,838.62 from Then Design for pay request number 3 for architectural services related to the new office building, $192,247.97 from the engineers to Roniak Paving for asphalt resurfacing of Caves Road, $68,323.04 from the engineer to Preston Ford for 2 new model year Ford Super Duty trucks, and $57,783 from the engineers at Junction Auto Sales for 2 2021 GMC Terrains. I contacted the engineer's office. All 4 of those are replacement vehicles, so And then finally, $54,549 from Water Resources to Trax Construction Company for McFarland Creek Emergency Restoration Project, and a revenue certification from Water Resources in their Auburn Corners Sewer Project Fund.
Are they all done, are they done with that project?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw the pictures, it looks good, they really encased it in concrete and the whole thing, and stabilized it, right?
Yeah, we should not have to
Yeah.
worry about that eroding away for
Quite a time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if it does erode away, we got concrete around it.
Yeah, okay, very good.
So moved.
Second,
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
yes.
Commissioner Toya.
Yes.
And then the next one on the agenda is the Commissioner's Office requesting the Board approve an encumbrance and expenditure to the Geauga County Agricultural Society pursuant to the relevant sections of the ORC for the year 2020 in the amount of $113.25, which is the total gas well revenue received by the county through the end of the year 2020 from a well located on the Geauga County Fairgrounds property.
So moved.
Second,
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
yes.
Commissioner Toya.
Yes.
Okay, and then number 7 is the Commissioner's Office requesting the Board request the County Auditor to distribute the balance in the Domestic Violence Fund, Fund 2070 to Women's Safe, the local agency designated by the Commissioners to receive such monies. This allocation is to be paid pursuant to section 3113.34 of the ORC for the 2020 year in the amount of $13,914.33.
So moved.
Second,
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
yes.
Commissioner Toya.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Auditor Chuck Walter.
Morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good.
Morning.
So, a couple things to go through real quickly here. I provided a packet for you. We are embarking on 2 initiatives this year, we're hoping to, through ADP for the county's benefit. I'd like to go through them kind of in a 30,000 foot level, just so that we don't get bogged down in details. And I've had some conversation with Jerry about this. Some of it relates to the new building, some of it relates just to the county site. So I guess, we start off, I think we all know that ADP is the governing IT entity in the county. It has strengths, and to be honest with you, it has weaknesses. And I think we need to understand and accept both of those. Its strengths are, it serves as a good protection mechanism for the infrastructure of the county. It's good at setting county IT standards, and it's efficient and cost-effective when it comes to triage and support. Its challenges really center around long-term projects. We don't have that discipline. Because we're a triage center and a support center, we tend to get pulled off of the long-term projects. I think Jerry and I had some frank conversations about some other web initiatives in the past that have gone astray because we can't keep focus. High-resource projects that are urgent are difficult for us to do. And lastly, we don't have a deep bench. Our bench is limited, and it should be limited because we don't want to keep people, if you will, on the bench waiting for, we're not Maytag repairmen. We should be always working. So we have 2 immediate ADP projects that I'd like to launch. The first one is an independent, which means off the county website to memorialize and provide transparency to taxpayers with respect to the new county building that's being built. On that site, I know the commissioners have reached out to MV5 and have asked them to do something similar to this. I want ADP to become intimate with it. We want to do two fundamental things. One is a time lapse of sorts of the building progress. And again, the time of that time lapse, whether it's hourly, daily, we haven't yet determined. And we also would like to provide a real-time viewing of the construction, mostly for residents. I mean, I think it's a really neat thing that doesn't happen often in the county. I think the taxpayers are paying a lot of money for that building, and it'd be good for them to see the construction progress. So we anticipate a real-time viewing, streaming video to this independent website. And we'd also like to put on that site key information regarding the project, whether it's sanitized blueprints, because I don't know that we want to give detail about it, but we kind of want to know which departments are in which floors. That'd be good for the taxpayer to know. I think a message from the commissioners of why that building was essential to our future in the county is good to do. And then also any other generic or repository data that we want to make available to the general public could be housed on this independent site. And then lastly, since the commissioners have already initiated this action, I believe it's going to be funded through the building process. I anticipate the funding coming through the commissioners, and we believe that project needs to be fast-tracked. I mean, if we wait too long, the building will be done, and what's the point? ADP project manager, I have assigned a person. That person is Jeff Mays. They will serve as the point person to work with whoever we have do this particular initiative. And all we're waiting for right now is a scope of work, a couple of sentences, I've already talked to Jerry about that, and a point person at the commissioner level. So that's the first project initiative.
So where's MD5 on this? You know, we've talked to them, you know, I think, well, way back, but about a month ago, we were talking about.
Yeah, we were in the process of getting a contract with,
Multivista.
Multivista.
Okay.
And then we, in discussions with.
And there's really
others,
two
it kinda
projects
was-
involved in that. Multivista is also gonna do the construction documentation, which we think they are really well suited to do. And
Okay.
I don't propose that.
So that'd be
done.
separate then?
And I don't think ADP needs
Yeah.
much involvement in that
Okay.
at all.
Okay.
Yes, we were working on it and talking with the auditor's office and Chuck was skin it. Let's look at going this route to be, because this then would now give us more for future. To be
Yeah,
able to
absolutely.
store
We
it
can
and
build
keep
off
it, and it's
that,
not
yeah.
just-
It would blend in with the community outreach.
Mhm.
Yes, it would.
And we'd own it.
Mostly-
It would be the property of the county.
Mhm.
Mostly what we were looking at was just getting a camera out there to have it.
Right.
And this is a little more.
More than
detailed
that,
on it.
yeah. Yep.
Keeping for the future.
Okay, great.
The second project, I mean, I know Tim has talked to me several times in the last 12 months about it. You know, I don't think it's any secret, the county's website is incredibly dated. I was talking to Jeff before the meeting, he said it's roughly 15-year-old technology. It's been adapted here and there, but it's not state-of-the-art. It's not mobile-friendly. If anybody's trying to get on the county site on their phone, it's a joke. So we would like to promote a redesign of the county commissioner portion of that site. It would also include all departments under the hiring authority of the commissioners. So we would propose moving the current county website from the current, it's called .NET Nuke, that's the technology we currently use. It comes out of the 1990s. It's no longer really heavily supported. And we would go to a more modern and feature-rich WordPress environment, which is more state-of-the-art for web development. It has more plugins, it's much more cost-effective to maintain, and the overall cost of support is much cheaper. We would also deploy a modular design, so I'm a big advocate of you build websites in modular fashion, so you can plug them into other sites, so you're not recreating the same code. Our current site is known as spaghetti code in the industry. I mean, it kind of says exactly what it is. It's a giant thread of a bunch of code, and to modify it, to augment it, or to reuse it is very, very difficult. And we also want to permit the leveraging and reusing of feature modules. So if we use a module, for example, on the auditor site, and it's the same kind of function, maybe it's a search form, we want to be able to use that same plugin on any website we use, so we're not repaying for that same feature to be used. And we want to deploy it on all the websites in the county, and thus saving the taxpayers money and improving maintainability. We also want to do a deeper dive on some of the departments within the commissioners. So right now, I know we have a very, very weak presence when it comes to economic development. I think that was cited in both in the bond and also in the outside
In the comprehensive plan.
comprehensive study. They cited that as a huge issue for the county. And, you know, we can debate the merits of that, but I think we still do need a good economic presence on the web. We have virtually none right now, and yet we should be doing something. So we would propose a deeper dive in economic development. And then lastly, because you were kind enough to fund some appropriation measures in ADP, I'm proposing that ADP funds this initiative out of their existing appropriated money. So I'm not asking you for money for this endeavor, I'm just asking you for the authority to go and start working on it. And again, I would need a point person at the commissioner level, and we probably would want your wish list, you know. What are the areas you want deeper dives on? So having said that, I just broke this into two last remaining pages, which are easy to follow. One is, what does ADP need to do this? First, it just needs a brief scope for each project of what do you want the takeaways to be? I don't wanna create a website and then somebody says, you know, we really wanted a search engine on that site. And we go, well, if you would've said it, we would've done it, but, so let's just get those down on paper now. We need a designated contact point so that we're not chasing people, we're not getting a different person every week who has a different vision of what they want the site to look like. And we want feedback on a regular basis. So what we propose to do are, these projects tend to have timeline deadlines, we have them. We would then offer that to the commissioners to review. The point person should target a group to look at it and say, yeah, I like the way it's headed, or no, let's turn it this other direction. So, the last page is, what are we proposing? We're proposing that I'll make available the ADP employee Jeff Mays. Jeff is here, raise your hand, Jeff. Jeff would be the project manager for both of these initiatives. He'd be working through the ADP staff to get whatever resources we need internally to make these happen, and working with the outside contractor to do the deployment. We will provide a resource to develop a 2-minute commissioner video for the new building initiative. If you look on the web, we are now producing videos in the auditor's office for various things like dog licensing. We did one for eSuite, we did one for the homestead discounting. They're very popular, they really say a message in 2 minutes, and the takeaway is really good for the taxpayer to get a glimpse of what you're trying to accomplish. I propose we have Cole do that. Cole, raise your hand, you're back there. Cole's been doing our videos, he's very proficient at it. He would write basically a script with some help from whoever this contact is, and then we would roll it out onto the sites. And then lastly, I'm promoting that we partner with a local professional web developer to do these initiatives. And we have worked in the past with Company 119, they're right up the street. Their attention to detail is phenomenal. And I've actually asked Christian to be kind enough to come here today to kind of give us a kind of a 30,000-foot view of what he sees the county's website developing into. Not in detail, but just kind of the overview of what he would propose to do. Christian?
Yeah, thank you for your time, appreciate it. So, we've been working already with the engineer's office in the past. We've worked with the auditor's office, we built a site for the parks as well. So we're fairly familiar, and basically, when we first approached the auditor's office, the concept was basically, how do we build something that can grow with the county over time? So we're not building individual little pieces and parts as time goes on, but meets the needs of what the community has right now. When their expectations, when they go onto the website, how do I get what I want, and how do I access it in a easy-to-use method with whatever device they have? And we love being in this county, but that website has been something that has been kind of like, underneath our skin, like, we gotta fix that, and this is our home kind of thing. So this is the vision that has been had to this point. So right now, the auditor's site is in development, and the basic goal is that we build the overall framework for that site so that we can spin up these types of sites utilizing a lot of that same code, so it saves money. Every site that gets built is actually less expensive because we're reutilizing some of the tools that are built for that original one, and that's what we're in essence trying to do with this plan. The goal through this is going to be, number one, to ensure that it's easy for residents to access, that we can have a better place for economic development on it, for the general public and also individuals on the outside. And then we plan from a modular approach for the future, meaning that we can take those pieces and parts. If something is built for the auditor's office, we can drop that into the commissioner's office. We also have behind the scenes right now it's called our central database. So it's information that can be shared across all different departments. That makes it simple for members of the of government agencies to update information across all sites.
I'd just like to add, I see you said it a couple times now, economic development, and that was one thing that was pointed out because that was the study being done, but also include planning in that. And Linda, you're here, right? I think that would be very important, right, with a lot of the questions you get on a day-to-day basis from residents and townships in the zoning, and, to be able to include that in this, right?
Absolutely, yeah, planning and economic development are tied. We're separate departments. Planning Commission, obviously, as you know, isn't under the county commissioners. The department should interact more. Our website is not the greatest. I try to update it to the extent that I can, but something like that, including planning, would be most appreciated.
Okay, great.
And that's important. Right now, the process, if someone needs a change, they have to go through ADP in order to accomplish that. we're
a
trying to build
cumbersome.
this out, exactly, so
Yeah.
that an individual within a department can actually, that has authorization, can actually go and make the change on their own. It takes huge weight off of the ADP
Absolutely.
IT department and doing silly things that they can be focused on larger infrastructure type of
Absolutely,
changes.
yep.
I know that's a good thing, because a lot of departments have been reluctant to be part of the, because of the fact that they didn't have any control over being
Right.
able to
Yeah, yeah.
make adjustments when they needed to make them right now. They had to
It's
go
like they
through the
can't
process.
put paper in the copier
Yeah.
because they're not allowed to.
Yeah.
Right, right,
You get the notice out about the issue right now 3 weeks later.
right. So small things like, hey, meeting minutes, and we want to put those, that can all be done by somebody within one of those agencies.
Mhm.
We want a major infrastructure change, we can do it at one point and apply it to all of the different agencies underneath it and other related entities.
Mhm.
So it's that's more of that forward-thinking kind of mindset that has to be applied to it versus the kind of one-off type of approach that has been had, in the past, because technology's progressed to where it's at now.
And not to jump ahead of ourselves, but you had said something about, costs and keeping costs down. I mean, I'm not gonna hold you to it now, but what are we talking here as far as dollars and cents? And then,
Sure.
do you, does this need to go out to bid?
Yeah, we're well under the bid spec.
Okay.
And the estimate we've got right now, we have not included the deep dive, so this is kind of just converting the existing site over to a modular design in
Mhm.
its current configuration. Obviously, some features will move over, because he's already developed some for my office. We're looking at around 15 grand,
Oh, okay.
which is very
Yeah,
cost effective.
yeah, very-
I mean,
And we would anticipate that for other agencies underneath that are not included in this, you're probably looking at somewhere around $7,000 to $8,000 to
To-
spin up each one of
to
those.
plug in
later
each
on.
one,
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
Mhm.
Because as each one grows, we have all those tools that then can be applied. We don't have to go and develop
Reinvent
those
it,
every
yep.
single time.
Yep, yep,
So it's a much more cost-effective way than, hey, every time let's spin up something like this.
I see.
this is
Okay.
about a 6-month in the making initiative. We
Mhm.
met with Christian early, mid-last year, and we said, how do we do this? How do we move us to the next generation?
Mhm.
So it's been well thought out. I mean, I know you're seeing it for the first
Yeah.
time, but I tend to not say anything until I get some data. And I'm very comfortable with the approach we're
Good.
taking.
Yeah,
And one of
yeah.
the benefits you do have is, because we are here right in Chardon, there's, you just come bang on our door if there's a problem kind of thing. But most of our staff lives in the county as well. So this is something that they're seeing from both the taxpayer perspective as well as the development. So while we're a private company, we're still here intertwined within the community. So there's many, many reasons why we want to make sure that this goes very well.
Great.
Sounds good.
That's what I have for you guys. If you want me to read to you, I can read to you, but
No.
I tend to put my kids to sleep, so
So what we're asking from the commissioners is obviously your go-ahead to embark on these 2 initiatives.
Mhm.
We do need a contact point, and we do need, and it doesn't have to be elaborate, just a quick, even on a napkin, these are the 3 things I want out of the site that we're not getting right now. Otherwise, we're in the dark trying to do this. And then we will give you regular progress reports. We think this is a very quick turnaround project from the standpoint of, we're not creating the wheel here. We're not inventing fire, we're reusing code. So we think we can get this accomplished in a quarter or 2 of this year. But, it's only as good as the data we get.
Mhm.
So we made some assumptions from what we can see from the public side, but obviously we'd want your liaison and you here, hey, we really had a dream to do this. That could change scope from what we're anticipating.
Yeah, and that's always been the issue in the past too, is we've talked about doing stuff like this, and it was like, and putting out messages, even newsletters and
Yeah.
different things, and it sounds great until it's like, okay, now we gotta put the
Who
content.
the heck's gonna do it?
Yeah, right.
Right.
So,
Yep.
that's it's only as good as the information you get, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
Any other thoughts?
I'd say let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there a motion on these 2 initiatives?
This is a long time coming, yeah, I'll make that motion, absolutely,
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
yes.
Commissioner DeWort?
Yes.
No, I
Thank you, Jim.
appreciate that.
Appreciate
Chuck.
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you for coming in today. We'll get in touch soon, we'll get back to you on what you're looking for.
Okay, great. I'll bug
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Number 9, Planning Commission. Linda? Good morning.
Good morning.
See?
Thanks for looking upward.
Yeah, right.
Good thing you looked over there first.
Hiding behind that mask.
Yeah, I know, it covered up my whole face
Yeah,
practically.
yeah.
Still, another replat, nothing too elaborate. Golden Oak subdivision in Munson Township, sublets 28, 29, and 30. Peterson's own sublets 29 and 30. They're splitting sublet 29, and then basically half of it is gonna be consolidated with their property, and then the other portion is gonna be consolidated with the Trinides, who own sublet 28. So it takes one building lot out of consideration to build on.
Is there a motion on the floor?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyle?
Yes.
Everything's so neatly done, you know. I hate to mess it up with my signature.
Thank you.
Morning. Morning, Dave.
If you would allow me, I'd like to introduce our new Director of Community and Economic Development, this is Marty Castelletti.
Marty?
Nice to meet you.
Commissioner DeVore, Commissioner Lennon,
Nice to meet you.
Commissioner
Great.
Spudler, Jerry, you know, Christie.
Excellent. Great to have you.
So, I did mention to Chuck that, you know, I'd like to, meet with Tom, if I could be part of this team. for this
Absolutely.
website, Because, you know, we've investigated websites from surrounding communities. Timing's perfect, you know,
Mhm.
coming out of the plan right now. And, yeah, so, yeah.
It's all lining up, yeah.
Yeah. You know, site selection and inventory of product in the community, it's all critical.
Mhm.
So I couldn't endorse Kristen more, so that's
Yeah,
great.
good.
Okay, so what we have today is a refinancing of an original mortgage, actually two mortgages for home improvement and down payment system that goes back to 2003 or 2002. There are two original mortgages, $9,000 and $2,720. So what this is all about is it's a subordination agreement which actually replaces an existing subordination agreement because they're refinancing their mortgage on their home. So the original mortgage back then in '03 was like $139,000. They're remortgaging $90,000 now. What we have at risk here is really only 20% of our two original $9,000 and $2,700 mortgage. So you're talking about $2,300 that's being subordinated to the new mortgage that they're taking out with Middlefield Bank.
So,
I hope that's not confusing the issue, but basically, there's a subordination agreement in place on the original mortgage, but they're refinancing with the new bank now,
Mhm.
Middlefield,
Mhm.
and Middlefield is asking you to subordinate their new mortgage, which is about $40,000 less than the original commitment they had so many years ago.
right,
We're still in the same position
yeah.
Yeah.
after as we are before.
Okay,
We're just a different bank.
We're second to that senior, there's only one other senior loan.
okay. How many of these loans roughly do we have, do you know?
It's a handful, I don't know the exact number, but there's been a considerable amount of activity in the last few months on getting these things paid off.
Mm-hmm.
So gradually now they're coming up with, the way these declining mortgages work, Tim, is once they hit the 8-year mark, then they only repay 20% of the original balance forever.
Hmm.
So, you know, in this case, it was $9,000, it's $1,800 is what they'll owe when they sell the property. If they were selling now, they'd have to pay the $1,800.
I see, yeah, right, sure,
Yeah, so, you know, our risk is low.
okay.
And you'll see me here satisfying some mortgages over the next couple of months, because the checks are coming in.
Coming in,
Yeah.
yeah,
Good.
Yeah.
very good, okay.
You know, the housing market's crazy. Houses are selling over the asking prices now. and
Yes, they are.
literally in a few days.
Mm-hmm. Good market. Okay,
So-
great, thank you.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyle?
Yes. Number 11, Dave?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
All
Have a
right,
good day. Nice to
Nancy
meet you
is here
too.
for number
jump
11.
in.
Nancy.
This being the first.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Nancy.
How's everybody?
Oh,
Good.
doing good.
You can see I'm still here. but-
Yes.
Pretty soon, the next time
That's
we'll
why,
come
that's why
up
the
for
smiles are
this.
still on the face here,
Yeah.
because you're still here.
Yeah.
So I think the last time we thought that I might be gone by now, but,
Yeah.
we have hired somebody that's coming in.
Oh, we did?
Next week.
Oh, good.
And
Okay.
so, the next time, you'll be meeting with him. And Craig will be filling you in, I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm here one last time, which is really nice to get to see all of you.
Yeah, we're gonna be really sad to see you and have you go, that's for sure.
Well, thanks, very nice of you to say, but what I wanted to say was, we have so much appreciated all the support the commissioners have given us.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of unique in the
Mhm.
state. There are other county commissioners that support their councils, but you all have been so supportive and you're really willing to listen as to what we need. And you all have had a presence on our council, which I think also has made the council very important in the community.
Absolutely.
I think that's really helped.
I think that's a testament to your leadership and, you know, commissioners come and go and you've been around for, doing this for a long time.
For a while,
Yeah,
right.
and, you know, I very much involved in it and appreciate everything and I've learned a lot from you and, you know, I think it's super important and one of the things I took away from it that I admired the most about Geauga County is when push comes to shove, we will circle the wagons if we have to, right? And take care of what we gotta take care of. And, you know, our kids here in Geauga County are, you know, one of the most important things we have to deal with, you know, and these kids are, some of them have very little opportunity right out of the chute, right?
Right, that's for sure.
And, so, you know, again, I appreciate everything you've done and helping me get educated on all that, so.
Well, and you've been very helpful, the council, all of you have, but your presence there has
Mhm.
really helped. And you know about the early childhood services, which are really important in the
Mhm.
community. And this year, actually, we served almost the same number of people, sort of in different configuration, because, you know, many services weren't going on outside the home.
Mhm.
But we've been providing a lot of services in the home, a lot of residential treatment services for kids. So things are going strong. I think that it's in very good shape.
Mhm.
And so we very much appreciate your support,
Absolutely.
which is what we have the resolution for
Very
today.
good, very good.
Thank you all very much.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, I'll make that motion.
Second,
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
yes.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Thank you
Great,
so much.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks for coming in.
And I'll see you, and hopefully, Tim, I'll see you a
Yes.
couple times before.
So hopefully you'll stick around and teach this new guy what's going on.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm
right?
supposed to be doing,
Yeah.
so I'll try.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Morning,
Morning.
Kathleen. Number 12.
Hi, we got a few items. So, yes, number 12, the Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve the revised job description for the position of Operator 3, number 2312, to be effective January 12th.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Yes.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Okay, number 13 is requesting the board grant permission to advertise for the position of Operator 3, number 2312, internally for a period of 5 days. If no qualified candidate is found, then externally until the position is filled.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
We also need to update our payroll authorization form, so we are requesting that the board approve and authorize the president of the board to execute the updated payroll authorization form.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Okay, and the Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and authorize the president of the board to execute request for partial payment number 11 for Workman Industrial Services Incorporated for the Auburn Corners wastewater treatment plant upgrade and Troy Oaks pump station conversion project in the amount of $119,427.13.
So moved.
472.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
How many more payments?
I know there's a number 12 sitting in my queue, and after that, there may be a 13th, that we're down to, I know we're less than 500,000, on the contract.
There's at least a 13th because they haven't done any of the final landscaping.
Okay.
Right.
So that'll need, because of finishing up in the wintertime, so they'll have to come back out in the spring and do the final landscaping. So it'll be that, and then there'll be a final payment that will be the retainage, once all the punch list items are done.
Great, thank you.
Motion on the floor?
Just need a second.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Okay, have a good
Thanks.
day.
Thank
Thank you.
Number 16, Chrissy.
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute Resolution 21-005, appointing Eric Fink to the Northeast Ohio Community Alternative Program NeoCap Facility Governing Board to fill the unexpired term of Aaron J. Hayner. This was on at the end of December. We pulled it for additional information. I'm guessing that all of you are now in agreement to go ahead and to do the appointment.
Okay.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Aye.
Commissioner DeWart?
Aye. And then before Jennifer comes on, my alternate, I chose Jonathan Tiber for my alternate for the Jaga Trumbull Solid Waste.
And that's your? For your, just as an alternate for you to attend meetings or for the policy committee?
Policy Committee.
Thank you.
And with that, we'll introduce Jaga Trumbull Solid Waste District Jennifer Jones, do a presentation.
I need a motion and a second for an approval on Mr. Tyler for your appointment.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon?
Yes.
Commissioner DeWart?
Yes.
Okay. That makes it official.
Yeah, he wants this new building as much as we do.
Good.
Okay, Jennifer, you have the floor.
Good morning, thank you for coming.
Got some visuals.
Okay.
How are ya? Oh. You feeling all right?
Yeah.
Feeling better? Yeah,
Thank you.
good,
Here.
good.
Yes. For signature.
You know we have a
and then I
3-minute
can-
policy,
I can
right?
wait for your name.
No.
Yes.
I was gonna, all right, that's
You
better.
get to sign
Okay,
all the
so
forms.
I just wanted
I
to,
don't care if you-
it's a little crooked, but you know, it does the job.
Yeah.
Did they sign it?
I pulled this off, this is-
That's all right, it's fine.
Anyway, all right,
Yep.
so, I'm Jen Jones, I'm the director for the Geauga Trumbull Solid Waste District. So the commissioners asked me here to officially announce something that we've been working on since I came in the door over a year ago. And it was well in progress before I even took the director position. We are finally able to break ground and start on our solid waste management district collection facility that we've been trying to build in Chardon for quite a while. The bids went out in December. The Board of Commissioners, which includes the 3 Geauga commissioners as well as the 3 Trumbull commissioners, the majority of the board voted to move forward with the building. We're going to have approximately 5,000 square foot building that will function very much like what our Trumbull facility that's located in Warren does. It takes household hazardous waste, electronics, appliances, and it would also have places for you to take your bottles and cans like are here in our parking lot here. It'll be open 12.
You said thank you.
Thank you. I know, you guys have a lot of bins out here.
Yeah.
It will be open 12 months out of the year, which is actually an improvement to the Trumbull facility. The Trumbull facility is open for electronics and appliances all year round, but we are unable to take household hazardous waste in the winter because it's not a heated building. This building will be heated, so we'll be able to take, and it has a drive-through. So you'll actually drive through this, you'll pull around, come and drive through the actual building.
Don't get excited, Glenn, it's not coffee and donuts,
So even when it's snowing in Geauga, in the winter, you'll be able to pull in here, unload inside the building. We will have crews to unload, so residents can bring refrigerators, freezers, televisions, air conditioners, and oils, gases, mercury, we get the weirdest things, propane tanks. You'll be able to bring all of those things all year round. We're anticipating right now, we haven't set the schedule yet, we're looking at 2 to 3 days a week, where residents can bring their items. It is approximately 6-month build, so depending on when we break ground, the contract with the builder, who is Kavanaugh, is in with the lawyers now. So as soon as the lawyers give us the approval to go ahead and move forward, then we just gotta sign the contract, get everything approved. We're looking at breaking ground maybe February, and then a 6-month build after that. So hopefully, if all goes well and things are working on schedule, we should have a facility in the fall, and we'll be able to have a ribbon cutting for all of the services we'll be able to provide. So we're very excited. It's located on Merritt Road, right across the street from the new commissioners building, and right next to the engineers building. So it'll be in that whole family of community services. It'll be right on that same street.
Jennifer,
So,
maybe you
yes.
could, just for the record, let people know just a quick overview of how Geauga and Trumbull interact together as a district, but also how Geauga County historically has been, a lot smaller as far as what goes to the landfill, but as far as what's recycled, how Geauga County has participated in recycling and been very proactive over the years.
Yes, so the district itself is both Trumbull and Geauga County. Though Trumbull County has the majority of the population, there are about 200,000 to about 100,000 here in Geauga County. The Geauga County really had, when we have special events in the past, we would have, one day HHW collections, or we actually tried to have an electronics collection last year, and it was just overwhelming. The number of people from Geauga County who came out to try and get rid of all of their things that don't belong in landfills was absolutely amazing. We get hundreds and hundreds of people for Geauga County, as well as the ones who drive an hour all the way to our facility, or 45 minutes all the way to our facility in Warren. It really has, this facility is very much needed in Geauga County. It is absolutely something that, especially for the people in the northernmost parts of Geauga County and Thompson and things like that, where it's a really long drive to come to us. It gives everybody that same fairness, the amount of the accessibility to get rid of these things properly. There's a lot of things that don't belong in landfills. Television should not go in landfills because of the lead in them and other various chemicals. Household hazardous waste, it saves our stormwater system. People won't put pouring them down the drains. They won't be dumping them in their backyards or in their streams or wherever people put those things. But it's easy for them to just bring it here to us here in Geauga County. It'll be quicker and easier, and if it's more convenient, people are much more likely to do it. If it's gonna be a pain, they don't. It's just how human nature is, so.
Absolutely. So this is gonna serve the entire district now,
Yes.
instead of it, just maybe one part of the district was being served. This is gonna include, this will cover both regions of the district.
Yes,
now.
and if there are a few areas of Trumbull County where it may not be that long of a drive to come up here, like Mesopotamia Township, they're more than welcome to come up here. But it will definitely provide the service in Geauga County to the same as what we were able to offer to the southwestern part of Trumbull County, so.
And then also maybe just real quick, I know it's been some topic of debate over the years with the different townships and their service departments having to deal with these recycling drop-off sites, and there's been a lot of talk about, wanting to either eliminate them or the district having to do something else to monitor them. So this will be more like a hub because it is centered in the county, and a lot of these townships, if they want to continue or not continue to provide that at their locations, but maybe we can eliminate, we don't need 16 different drop-off locations, and this can be more of the central hub with,
It's entirely possible. We're definitely going to have a site here. Whether or not I've already been talking to some of the other townships and communities that have drop-off sites and we've discussed whether or not they want to upgrade their sites to have cameras, because we're offering extra funds to get cameras and other fencing and whatnot to fix up their sites, or if they want to go ahead and close them down altogether. For convenience, it's great to have one right down the street from you. So, most people won't drive for more than 5 to 10 minutes for recycling bottles and cans. So we're gonna definitely look at the different sites and talk with the communities and see what it is they would like to do. But like I said, convenience is key. I fully think that at least 2 sites are probably gonna close, the Clarendon site and this one would probably close.
And the Byrne one.
And Munson
And-
too, I think.
And Munson, okay. Then we will.
Munson has already closed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Munson's already closed, yes.
That's why there's so many back here.
Yeah.
So, and maybe just touch on real quick how the revenue is generated for the district, because I think there's, people have a perception that this is, comes out of the taxpayer's pocket, or how's the revenues generated?
The district was set up through the Ohio EPA. The funding source for us is through trash. So for every ton of trash that goes into a landfill, that landfill has to pay us, the district, $5.50 per ton. The average person produces less than a ton per year. So the average person, if we're looking at it, is about $5, let's say, roughly $5 a year. Now that money is paid from the landfill to us. You don't directly pay us. You pay for your trash service. Someone comes to your house, picks up your trash, takes it away into a landfill. And that landfill aggregates all of that money together and pays us the $5.50 per
Tipping
ton.
fees.
Yeah, generation fees.
Yeah,
We-
yeah.
So we collect that funds from the landfill directly. It is not tax dollars. It is not, you don't pay it on your property taxes. You don't pay it in your income taxes or anything like that. It's all from the landfill to us. So, based on that, we make approximately, I mean, this building itself, we've been saving for quite a while. And this building is gonna cost approximately $1.3 million, less than $1.3 million. And it will last us for many, many, many years.
Geauga
So-
County has donated the land or
Yes.
leasing the land, right?
Yes, we're leasing it,
Leasing it for
Leasing
$1.
A dollar.
$1 a year.
Yeah.
$1 a year.
And it sits on 4.5 acres of land,
Mhm.
and there's room for future expansion.
Absolutely, yes, there's room for, this building is approximately 5,000 square feet, which we would love to have it a little bit larger than that, but 5,000 square feet will work for now. But there's space in the back here, as you can see from this topical view, there's space here to build out this whole area here, and this is all open grass area. This is a grass site, greenfield site, so we have quite a bit of room to move out this way and in the back, if is necessary. There's an office space up front. We could expand the office space if we wanted to. Looking in the future, we're looking at making this, be able to have educational programs here down the line. Right now, it doesn't have the space for it. But in the future, it definitely has the adaptability to be able to be more of a hub for everything, all the services we offer. Right now, we go to schools, well, not right now. Our educators, and we'll go to schools and do educational programs. People could come and see how things are recycled. And we could offer that as a class, or we could have composting classes. We could have things like that to offer them to the community. And we definitely have the ability to be able to expand down the road and be able to do those things and serve as much more interactive with the Geauga residents and with the people here.
Great.
And during the planning, since it's right next to the engineer's office, we work together as a group. Wanted those two buildings to complement each other with a color scheme, the lettering of the building and everything else. So that whole area, we'd like to make it like a campus for the citizens of Geauga County.
And the design of this building was based on the engineers, the architects, Axiom Architects went out and looked at the engineer's building and designed it to look very similar. So it has that same kind of design and vibe. When you look at it, it's very, very similar. So it's very aesthetically matching the rest of whatever else is going on that street, so.
And, that's nice too, that it's off the main route, on those big collection days, which, we may not need to have those big collection days now, because this will be open.
All year round,
Yeah,
yes.
right,
We won't
so-
at the electronics drive, we got in 5 hours, we got over 40,000 pounds of televisions and over 40,000 pounds of appliances, like refrigerators, freezers, and such.
Yeah.
That's just
There's a
an enormous
backlog.
amount of stuff, a horrible backlog.
Yeah, in Geauga County for sure, and I think, just because really the Trumbull County facility, I would bet most people in Geauga County didn't even realize it was available to them, or if they did, they're saying, I'm not gonna drive 45 minutes or an hour to go sit in a line on a Saturday afternoon, right? Or
Right.
something like that. So-
Yeah, it is, when we would check with where people are coming from at the Trumbull facility, and it was about 20% were Geauga, 80% were Trumbull County residents. So it's definitely underused by the Geauga County, and most of the people who were coming from Geauga County were like Parkman and
Yeah.
Bainbridge, the ones that are in the
Eastern,
southern part of the county,
southeast, yeah.
southeast, where they could easily just hop on 422 and come and get to us. It's definitely underutilized by Geauga residents. So I think that when we first open, we're gonna be very busy. And we're gonna plan that out nicely, so we don't have the lines, so we have a plan to make it so you're not sitting in line for an hour to try and get rid of these electronics and appliances. But once we get some of that glut out, I think it'll definitely be busy, but it's not gonna be horrible
Overwhelmed,
after
yeah.
a while. But the first year, I think, is gonna be pretty busy.
Well, we work on need, and if we need the fairgrounds for a Saturday,
Yes.
an event, we will, so we don't bottleneck Merritt Road.
Correct.
You-
I am working on, because this isn't gonna be done till the fall, I am working on scheduling an electronics drive, an appliance drive, and a household hazardous waste day, and of course, the normal paper shred day. We'll have paper shred days here too, once it's open. Those are all gonna be at the county fairgrounds in the spring. We're looking at April and dates in April and May. I've emailed them to try and confirm dates with the Geauga County Fairgrounds. But we will be having those events in the spring to kind of tide people over until this facility is able to be opened in the fall.
Any questions from the floor? Go ahead.
Jim McNeil from Troy Township. I spent 21 years as Director of Hazardous Materials Emergency Operations for all of North America for the world's largest compressed gas company. I still maintain a business in calibration gases that are in quote-unquote disposable cylinders. How do you handle empty propane tanks, empty compressed gas cylinders? What's your plan with those? Who handles those for you?
Right now, the company that we use in Trumbull County is AmeriGas. We have a storage container that we put them in, and then they come and empty us out whenever whenever it's full. We haven't picked a vendor yet for that, but it would probably, if AmeriGas won't service us there. A lot of the contracts we have at Trumbull have already expressed the desire to work with us at our Geauga facility too. So we use Clean Earth, which used to be Stericycle, for our hazardous waste. We use Penn Ohio for our electronics, and they both said that they were going to work with us and service this facility also. We haven't reached out to AmeriGas yet, but it will probably be that company, though we are reaching out to a couple other companies in the area to just get bids and see what kind of services they can provide.
The reason I ask that is that there is a scrap dealer in Middlefield who I have worked with on a program of recycling. I sell compressed gases out to Timbuktu and wherever. And when customers are interested in recycling those containers, I aid them in turning them into non-hazardous materials so they can ship them themselves. Then they can come into this particular scrap dealer as a non-hazardous material and become very good scrap metal for that scrap dealer, plus eliminating a can going into a landfill somewhere.
Okay.
Because I was director of hazmat operations, I used to hate getting 4 a.m. calls that a bulldozer just ran over one of our little cans in there, and I was responsible to take care of those things. So the other thing is, if you get any weird things, anything that's a real gas cylinder per se, and the labels and all that stuff, I can help you with those things. I can help you
I can give
identify
you my
owners.
card.
I can help you tie up with people who work with emergency response in those circumstances. Our county plan, to the best of my knowledge, would be grossly inadequate to handle something like that.
Okay, I will be happy
I have a
to
card.
talk with you later, and
I'll
I'll
give
have
you
a
a
card and we can
Yeah.
trade them and have a talk. Yes, absolutely.
Which AmeriGas, whoever takes those containers away, unless those containers have been processed in a proper fashion, those will remain a hazardous material. And so whoever's taking them away, they need to be manifested,
Okay,
okay?
great, thank
So
you.
you're not part of it. You hand that off to them, and unless they're a treatment, storage, and disposal facility, we're now starting to pile up infractions.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
so.
thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Jennifer. Glenn, did you have your hand up?
Is this just residential or is this for businesses also?
That's a good question.
Yeah, we wouldn't, for household hazardous waste, we're not really taking it from, it's primarily residential. We don't have a problem with small businesses, especially in COVID, everyone's kind of running a small business out of their house. That's not a problem. What we don't want is an industrial company bringing us their very strange chemicals. We're built for, this is an H3 facility, we're built for residential hazardous waste. We're not built for the weird
Industrial.
acids and industrial things. We also don't want a warehouse to bring us 500 of the long, skinny fluorescent tubes. That should be part of their budget. They have a business. But if, someone who's running a small office in the back with a little business, they run their own accounting company or something like that, that's acceptable. I have no problem with small businesses. It's just the larger, more industrial businesses, those should be, we can help share with them the information for a company to come out and help them service them directly, but they would not be for this. This is more residential.
Yeah, and the biggest difference between this and what we have been doing in the past is this is gonna be supervised and collected, instead of on the honor system, and that was always the problem with the drop-off sites in the past, right? We had people dropping off railroad tie, landscapers dropping off mattresses and all kinds of, you see it, it's gotten a little better, but, the honor system doesn't work, right? We've figured that out.
Our worst site is Burton.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's no offense to the Burton folks, it's just.
Just if it's unsupervised and it's not,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're gonna have
Those types of
cameras,
things.
we will have,
Yeah.
yeah. Businesses now, as far as bottles and cans, if a business has bottles and cans they wanna bring from
Yeah.
their workers or something like that, that's fine. It's just we don't want their
Commercial, industrial.
commercial type
Yeah.
waste, absolutely.
Yeah, also in Troy Township, I don't know if they've been in touch with you, I would assume they have. We've had a tremendous amount of problems with people just dumping all kinds of things there. I mean, you name it, it's been dumped there. If there was a Sherman tank in town, it would be there.
We put cameras up.
Who-
There's
who do
cameras
I-
at that
who do I-
site now.
Can I have one of our trustees in touch with you directly?
Sure,
All right, then
I have been
we'll swap
talking to
cards.
them,
We'll
yes,
swap cards, thank
yes.
you.
We did have cameras up at Troy for several months and we're watching to
Oh,
see.
you got them up?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Thank you very
Awesome.
much, Jennifer.
Yeah, it looks great. I'm
They're hitting
excited.
them well, I haven't seen them.
I'm excited to finally get this thing off the ground. It's been a long time coming and sorely needed in Geauga County. And I just also like to mention, to thank and credit Skip Claypool, former commissioner. He was really the one that drove this in the beginning and this idea of doing this. And so I'd just like to thank him for his efforts and, getting it to this point, and we've picked it up and taken it to the next level, so.
Of course, it hasn't been pretty the last
No.
2 years, but we got
got
to
it.
this point.
Yeah, I mean, it should, in all reality, this building should have been built probably a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, but it is what it is. We're finally here, yeah,
But
so.
at least we're breaking ground next week,
Yes.
so that's a great
Yes,
sign.
sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great, thank you very much, Jennifer.
Motion to adjourn.
Jim asked for a motion.
I'll second that.
I'll third that.
Yep.
Meeting's adjourned.
I have 10 to 8.
Good stuff.
Hey, Jennifer?
Yes.
One of the things that there's some concern is we talked about.
That's good about the website stuff, huh? I'm happy they're finally getting that up
Yeah,
to
and this
date.
conversation with Chuck with it.
Yeah, it'll be so much better. Like this stuff with like planning and just everything, really, like when people get on. Like, I don't even use it, because I know it's not really.